Huff, tonight you had a pretty tough game against Community Christian. The final score was 69-44 in favor of Community Christian. What do you see as one of your major problems in tonight's game?
Well, the biggest problem is with a team that's that athletic, we don't have that level of kids. We can't replicate that in practice. So just the speed that they played with, and they jump well, they're relentless on the boards, and I think we just kind of got a little worn down. And coming off a tough loss the other night in overtime and being on the road, guys are kind of in the middle of finals, and you can see we scored 14 points in the second half. That's not typical of us, and so. With a team like that, you really got to be able to match them and not allow them to go on runs. And they just kind of took off on the second half, and we couldn't match it. And so it was worse than the game wasn't as bad as it looked, but as the score looks. But we got to get better.
Yeah, I just noticed it was a game of streaks tonight. I mean, at one time it was tied up 19-19, and it seemed like it was somewhat under control. And then, like you said, they hit those streaks where they went on like a 10-0 run at one period before you called the timeout to try to stem the tide. And it, like I said, they were also very athletic. Number 23, Willingham, was just a beast.
Yeah, he was a monster. And if you can't push a kid out like that on the boards, he's going to get a lot of stuff on the offensive boards. And that's really what happened. I mean, he got a lot of, I don't know how many points he ended up with, but a lot of them were on the offensive boards. And they're all good. Their first 5 or 6 guys are really, really good. And but I asked the guys in the game. I said, or in the locker room, I said, is there anybody who doesn't believe we can beat that team? Because we can get better, and we can win a game against that team or a team like that. It's going to take a great game. It's going to take a better game than we played tonight. But we're good enough to do that, and we will be good enough to do that.
Well, talk about your, tonight, once again, a game of missed opportunities. Free throws. That was a bugaboo tonight. To win a game like this, you definitely got to move the scoreboard while the clock is stopped.
Right.
You have to do that to win a game like this. What in the world was going on there?
I'm not sure. We struggled from the free throw line in our last game, and shot barely over 50%, and I think right now, and we didn't have a chance to practice and come in and stuff because we played Friday night, didn't have practice Saturday or Sunday, and then come and play tonight. So they really haven't had a chance to get back in the gym and recover that. And so I think free throw shooting is such a mental skill. It's not a physical skill as much as it's a mental skill, and when you're not right mentally, it's going to be really tough. And I think a few of our guys are just not quite right mentally. We need to get them in the gym this week and practice a lot of free throws, and they need to start believing that they can make those.
Yeah, I can imagine, like my old coach would say, you're going to be in great shape for the next game after losing one like this. Well, tonight, Hanson French it seems like a bulk of the work falls on his shoulders.
Yeah, a lot falls on his shoulders, and I think there was a few times tonight where he tried to take a little too much on his shoulders, and he's capable of doing that, but at times he rushed it a little bit, and when he drives to the basket and he's under, then they get the rebound and they're going the other way, and he had to work really, really hard tonight, and I think he's a little worn down, and you can see in the second half he only scored 3 points, and normally the second half is when he kind of takes off and takes over a game. So we're actually giving the guys off tomorrow from practice. We don't have a game till Friday. I think they need to have the chance to heal up physically and mentally, and then we'll get back after it on Wednesday and Thursday and have 2 good practices before we face Oakwood on Friday.
Yeah, that is one thing I did notice in the second period was they did appear kind of out of it. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of got the edge back when it was 4 minutes to go in the game. I think finally something clicked. Like, whoa, this is getting pretty serious here.
Yeah.
They just seem a little bit worn down mentally more than anything else, not physically but mentally.
Well, this is a tough school too. I mean, the academic load is serious, and so they have pressure academically, and then we're working hard from a basketball standpoint, athletically, and. So all that takes a toll on a kid, and they have to learn how to manage their time and not procrastinate their assignments, and make sure that they stay on top of those things so that they're not up till 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning trying to get work done, and then coming and trying to practice. And all that. So they have a lot going on, and again, we're going to be better. I'm fully confident that next time we face that team or a team like that, we're going to be a better team than we were tonight. And we just have to use the experiences of the games like we have tonight to build and grow, to learn the lessons, and to come in and work on the things that we got to do better.
Well, tell me something about your next opponent coming up Friday night. What kind of team are they compared to the team you just saw tonight?
I don't think they'll be quite as athletic. Obviously, I told their coach after the game, you guys could have a heck of a track team, and because they could really go. I don't think that this team will be quite as athletic, but they were a team that was in the state tournament last year, so it'll be a quality opponent, and we're going to have to come out and what we talked about in the locker room is building to the point where we have a great 32 minutes. We can play well for 20, 22, 24 minutes. But it's a 32-minute game, and we have to be physically in good enough shape, mentally in good enough shape to sustain for 32 minutes, and then even into overtime if necessary. And so those are the things we'll be working on.
Okay, Coach. Well, good luck to you on Friday night, and go get them. It's just one game in the season. You're 4-2 still. It's a young season. Even though it's 6 games, it's still young. You don't worry about the bad ones. You always work to get better.
We're going to be back, and we're going to flush this one and move on.
All right, Coach. Well, have a great evening.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks.